Hey, what's going on, Keith? Can you see me? Sorry, I was fixing something on my screen. Tell me about Dave's documentary. I'm planning on watching it today, actually. What'd you think of it? I was noticing that on Amazon Prime there are lots of bodybuilding documentaries. I had no idea. I got a bunch of potential stuff to watch now on there. I came across it last night. That new movie, Magazine Dreams, is out. Not going to pay the $20 to see it yet, but I noticed that they've got a lot of stuff on there. They've got Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman, Lee Priest, a lot of stuff on there. Kevin Levrone. I heard that the Lee Priest one was pretty good. I might have to check that one out. It was kind of like a day in the life. Remember when Dave did the I'm Dave Palumbo and This Is My Life series? I was thinking it would be like that. So it didn't go back far in time. Let's see here. Good sir, do you think they based the Magazine Dreams movie on Genova? Both work at a grocery store. Both fathers died. The awkward YouTube videos, the extreme awkwardness with women. Well, I haven't watched the movie yet, so I'll have to watch it to give you my full opinion on it. But, you know, that would make sense because, you know, Hollywood, they typically take white stories and then cast black actors for the stories. So you might be right about that. That's like the way to do things in Hollywood these days. You see what they did with the Harry Potter series by casting Snape as a black actor, which I think is hilarious. Italy, what's going on, Marco? Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Cardio Q&A. It's Wednesday, 10/17, so you see in theory, I'm on time. My theory is that if I can get out here, period, I'm on time. I'm supposed to be on around 9 for anybody that's curious. I went for a walk outside with Marissa and the baby today. ZNCU Entertainment, I will absolutely share my opinion when I see it. I saw that it was on Amazon Prime last night. Maybe I will spend the $20. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm curious if anybody on here has seen it already, what they think. Impressive muscles and big neck. Thank you. I do have a big neck. I feel like my muscles are not as impressive as they once were, but I'm trying. So Jumbo Palumbo was good, Keith. Okay. No more present day, but the past is talked about. First 10 minutes blew me away. He was going through some issues. Yes, I imagine, I wasn't sure. So I've had some conversations with Dave, not recently, but when I got home on the phone with some of the stuff that was going on with his divorce situation. I was very shocked by it. So I'm not sure how much of that he was going to put in there. But, you know, I'm Team Dave. I love Dave. Bolshoi, what is going on? Mushrooms out of your ass. Were you growing magic mushrooms out of your ass? That little psilocybin in there? Am I able to crack my neck? At times. At times. Marco. Bolshoi, I was letting everybody know yesterday that both of the last 2 times that I had done my cardio, I really screwed my back up much worse. And so after the last one, getting on prednisone and going through the recovery, I decided I'm gonna wait until my back is a lot better before I start doing these again. So this week I'm testing it out. I've missed you guys. I've missed you, Bolshoi. Martin Terry says, you were a very good looking, well-built guy. Thank you so much, Martin. Wow, you just made my day. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate that. Got a little bit of grays coming in here. You guys, I got no gel in the hair. You can see the little grays in the front. Brandel says, sent you a DM on the IG, got my big Lenny. Oh, yes. Yes. Let me look for that today, Brandel. I'm excited about that. Where are you going to put the tattoo on your body? I was telling a couple of the guys over at Blackstone. I met them for some food recently, not at Blackstone. And I said I met somebody that was going to get a big Lenny tattoo. Have you seen Palumbo's documentary? So no, we were actually just talking about that, Bolshoi. I actually heard that song, Hilarious. I guess it's AI generated. I was saying I want to meet the woman who sang the song, and then I found out it was AI generated. I do plan on watching it. I may watch it today, actually. Let's see. New World Muscle says, gotta watch Lee Priest's Bodybuilding Reality. Fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch that one. That's one I'd like to watch. For sure. You know what's crazy, Bolshoi, is the last one I heard it was literally picking up the baby. Literally picking up the baby. And it's the craziest thing. Like when I hurt my back, the very, very first time I heard it, many years ago, leg pressing. I was leg pressing very heavy, and something just popped. I couldn't even walk. And now I've heard it. That was about over 10 years ago. That was one of the reasons why I retired. As young as I did from competing, but I've screwed it up quite a few times over the years. But man, most of the time when I heard it, it's not even doing anything in the gym. It's just doing random stuff outside of the gym. But this last one was pretty bad, pretty damn bad. I may have to start talking about surgery and getting it sorted out, because it seems to be giving me a lot more issues than it used to. Big Lenny on the thigh, I love it. King of Freaks, I love that. I love that. I love that. Deadlifts imitate lifting baby from the floor. I'm scared to do that stuff, Bolshoi. I'm scared to do it. I used to deadlift a lot. Very, very strong. I'm just very, very scared to hurt anything worse in there. Cause any more issues with what I got going on with those degenerative discs back there. Method Man and Red Man, okay. Busta Rhymes. Simon says, or did he and R. Kelly satisfy you? Wow. Who would have thought, Bolshoi, who would have thought all these years later, Diddy and R. Kelly would be in the situation that they're in right now? I'm going with Diddy and R. Kelly on this one. That was a great one. But who would have imagined that they would be in the situation they're in now? And by the way, what is going on with Diddy these days? Is anybody following along with this, with the investigation and whatnot? Where is it at? I feel like I haven't heard much in a while. I know he's still locked up. I'm assuming he's never getting out. But does anybody know what the latest with that is? Bolshoi, do you know? Jack and Reese are here hanging out. Brandel Media says, I actually herniated my C7 disc 2 months ago, trying to get surgery and doing everything I can to recover. Like, hopefully your back heals good, man. Yeah, that's a tough one. I've done things up there in the cervical neck area that can be very, very bad. I have, so mine are, I guess mine are pretty common where they are. I have L4, L5, S1 issues. So it's basically bent on the bottom. And they're in pretty bad shape. You know, I've made all sorts of lifestyle changes around it. You know, the doctors were like, don't squat anymore, don't deadlift anymore, don't do any bent over rows, don't do anything without a chest support. Bolshoi, you saw Carl ended up in the hospital. He wound up having a terrible infection. So so what happened was, I think he was doing cardio or something, and he developed a blister on his foot. And from what I understand, it's something along these lines. It was a blood blister. It got infected. He started feeling really weird, and he got a serious blood infection, like a staph, I guess, infection type of situation. Ran through his system. It became septic. And he actually, from what I understand, I think he almost died. And that's why he lost so much weight. Now, if he didn't have all that muscle, you know, he carried a decent amount of muscle on his frame. You know, you can imagine how much worse he would have been. So I'll have to check in with him again and see what's going on. I hadn't heard from him in quite a while either before that. Scary. How about making the last off-topic show reunion? Last ride with you and Aaron. That would be funny. That'd be a funny one. Bring us all back together one last time. I remember I had an off-topic shirt that had Hitler on it. It was people were very offended by that shirt, but it was actually designed by Aaron. You guys may remember that show from way back in the day. I used to, back in the very back in the day, most people would remember this, I used to be the resident training expert for Superhuman Radio. So I would come on and I would get invited on and we'd talk about training different body parts. That was actually in my 20s. And I think Carl Lenora was actually the first person who told me, you know, you have a good voice for radio. You have a good ability to do radio and podcasts. It was one of the first person that put that in my head. Keith, you know the shirt. See, Keith knows the shirt. Carl said his kid drew that. I believe it. I believe it. I remember when Aaron gave me that shirt. I used to wear it in the gym. People would give me a lot of strange looks. Let's see. After Enzo will turn 18 years, you will throw him out of the house. Or since you'll be over 60, you'll ask him to stay and take care of you. That's a good, you know what? That's a good point. That's a good question. Maybe I will ask him to take care of me. Iron Empire worth anything, yeah. Does anybody have any of those Iron Empire shirts, the old ones with me and Aaron? You know, I actually wish that I wasn't as mad as I was during that whole phase, because I had thrown my Iron Empire radio shirts out, and I wouldn't mind having one now. That was a good piece of history for me. Keith has one. That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. Bolshoi says, not gay, but you look younger since the last time we saw you a month ago in Cardi Q&A. People keep on saying that to me. I think that I'll tell you what changed my face quite a bit. And it's funny that you say this because I have now completed a month of it. Seriously. I added in Letro by Blackstone Labs. Very, very, very strong product. People keep on saying that. And the funny thing is, I'm getting less sleep than I was due to the baby. Now I'm also super happy and alive because of the baby, But it made a profound change in me. And I think that it's pulled a lot of the puffiness out of my face. And so that has made my face look a little bit more youthful. And it's funny, I appreciate you saying that. People keep on saying that to me, you look so much younger. And I noticed also when I started taking the Blackstone Letro, because I weigh myself every single day, for the first 10 days, my weight went down 0.2 to 0.5 pounds, literally every day. There was not a day where it wasn't at least 0.2. It was actually going down like half a pound a day in the beginning. So I went from 232 to like 225. Now I'm under 225. I'm right around 224. I teeter in that 224-ish range. So I think it pulled a lot of bloat off of me. Fresh and young. Thanks, Bolshoi. How many diapers have you changed for the last month? Quite a bit. So Marissa has done more than me because she gets some solo ones in, but I actually try to help on every diaper changing since she's here all day, and I am for the most part too. We kind of do team diaper changing. So because he has to wear that Pavlik harness for his hips, it's really turned a lot of one-person jobs into two-person jobs. I don't know how single moms that have babies that have to wear the Pavlik harness, I don't know how they do it. It's got to be much harder for them. My heart goes out to those moms because I've done a couple by myself in the harness, and it's tough because his legs are locked like this. So it's very helpful for somebody to lift from underneath because you can't touch the legs. It's easy to take little legs with the diaper and move them around. You can't touch the legs. So, but yeah, multiple diapers a day for sure. For sure. How's bodybuilding lifestyle helped you to manage the baby stuff? That's a good question, Bolshoi. So, I think that anything in life, when you have a routine, you're going to thrive. I've said this. So I figured to myself, I've got to figure out how to get into a routine with the baby. And for me, the most important thing for me, for my own personal well-being, and it goes beyond physical fitness, it's mental, is I have to be able to get my workout in every day. So the baby eats on a schedule every 3 hours. And so there's like a 11 to 12 o'clock at night feeding. And I have tried to do my best to make sure that I handle that feeding and then get to bed. And there's another feeding 3 hours after that. So that feeding, most of the time I wake up, and although that Marissa is handling the feeding, I get up and I just go to the gym. That way I can be back to help out in the morning for the next group of feedings. Now, there's been a couple times where I've been moving real slow for whatever reason, and I missed the 6 a.m. feeding. But I try to get home for that and help out as much as I can. So because I have now figured out that those times work for me, then I can structure everything else around it. Let's see here. Jennifer Page, Crush, or Christina Aguilera, I Turn to You. Is Jennifer Page Crush? Is that? It's just a little crush, not like I fade every time we touch. It's just a little. Not like everything I do depends on you. Is that one? I forgot about that one. That's a good one. I think I might have to go. I love Christina Aguilera. I actually really love Daphne Aguilera. I don't know if you guys know about Daphne Aguilera. Big Daphne Aguilera fan. La 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 la. Okay, Keith, I will. Thank you. I'll check my DMs. I've been terrible with my DMs lately, I admit. Since you were absent, Guy blocked me on his Cardi Q&A. I got pissed off because my Jewish gay blacks and porn questions. Why? What was the question that set him off? I'm curious. He's wound much tighter than I am. Whitney and Mariah, When You Believe, or Lionel and Diana, My Endless Love. So I'm going with Lionel and Diana for My Endless Love. Great song. But, man, I'll tell you, can you find another duo with a more powerful combination of voices than Whitney and Mariah? Arguably the greatest to ever do it right there. Shoulder injury or knee injury, I have been very lucky for the most part with my knees. They get achy here and there, but I've never had a bad knee injury. Oh man, I knock on the wood right here. I've had a lot of shoulder injuries. So it'd be great to not have to deal with all this shoulder shit. But at this point now, I've figured out a way to train around all my shoulder issues. And the main thing is they just don't look good. But the pain issues I'm around. Why does Proviron have such a bad rap on cycles? I don't know. I love Proviron. You know, in this modern age of drug talk, there's a lot of followers. There's a few smart people that will put information out, and then there's a lot of followers. And I will say that sure, there's some more data now than there was 20 years ago. But again, bodybuilding and steroids and all this, a lot of this is figure it out as you go. There's just not a ton of study on this stuff. So I don't personally believe that the information that is tossed around now is any better than information that was tossed around 20 years ago. I just think it's a matter of social media has changed everything and who we decide to follow. So the reason that I like Proviron so much is it has a profound effect on SHBG. You can see it, but you can see it if you test your blood, not taking it versus taking it. And a small amount goes a long way. So you can add a small amount of Proviron into any cycle, into a testosterone cycle, and you will literally feel like you've increased your testosterone dosage. You will. But you'll actually, for the most part, wind up getting a little bit drier and tighter because you won't see any negative estrogen response. So for me, I actually found that 25 milligram Proviron did really well for me. In the off season all the time. Made me horny, made me feel good. Just 25 milligrams. But then come contest prep, the last few weeks, I would actually load up on the Proviron and it would get me drier and hard. What do I think about the latest Aguilera plastic surgeries? I haven't seen her. What did she do? Did she change herself a lot? Tanya, what's going on? Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, Classic, or Snow Informer. Wow. Informer, you know, so that miss me, I go play, I like it, boom, boom, now. The man said it, that miss me, have someone on the land. Man, I forgot about that one. Whew. I think I gotta go with Snow on that form. What's Snow doing these days? There's a question. Does anybody know? Bolshoi says, I don't train shoulders at all because I think presses and side laterals will cause you pain and injury. Well, listen, I'll tell you, I certainly have a lot of them. Top 3 things you liked and top 3 things you hated working with Dave. Liked was he had an endless amount of information. Endless amount of information. He was also very funny in the way that he was an instigator, troublemaker, which I appreciated. And he really, outside of the intellectual side, he had a lot of really great stories too. So you had the learning experience with him, you had the funny story time stuff, and you got to watch him doing funny shit, instigating, which I got a kick out of. The things that I didn't like working with Dave, I would say back then I thought Dave was cheap. I thought he didn't want to give me anything for all I was doing, but I guess that's a matter of opinion. I also didn't think that he listened to me on any of the things that I wanted to do as far as helping. For instance, with Species, when I moved to California, I was like, let me take over the sales in California. I'll blow it up. And California. And he was like, you don't know anything about sales. You're a bodybuilder. What are you going to do in sales? Now, I could see why he would feel that way, but I actually now have proven what I could do with Blackstone Labs, obviously. And I would say the third thing would be, and this is actually why I think most people love him, was he always had crazy ass people around, and sometimes it was too much. Let's see, Blas, what's going on? Hi PJ, how are you? Are you enjoying the baby? Yes, I am, so much. So much. Thank you. You think because Dave is an instigator and manipulator, he can't live up with any woman and wife? You know, I really thought, Bolshoi, that Colette was great. I thought Colette would have been the best with Dave. I don't know why he didn't want to lock it in all the way. She was a really awesome lady. She was. Have tariffs affected my life in the U.S.? No, not yet. I see a lot of people complaining, but nothing has affected me yet. I don't think anything has affected Blackstone. Oh, Bolshoi, so you like Colette too. She was a great lady, man. She was a great lady. She was very smart. Everything that I know about insulin, I actually learned from Colette, not from Dave. Colette was a diabetic, and she actually taught diabetes education, so she was a great person to learn from. The way that I did my insulin when I was competing, much different than many other people. With C-Bomb retiring from Classic, do you have anyone standing out in the next Olympia? Well, I think we all probably expect Mike the Badass to be the guy. I don't really see anybody else beating him. You know, and honestly, I think that Classic is probably going to suffer a little bit now. I think somebody needs to step up and be the next C-Bum. And I don't think it's going to be Mike the Badass. I'll tell you, Mike the Badass probably has a better bodybuilding physique than C-Bum, if we're just talking straight bodybuilding. But with the Classic style of body, C-Bomb had a very unique and different look, and he had the personality to go with it also. So I don't know who's going to fill in to that spot. I don't. I'm curious of what other people may think. What podcast do I listen to these days? Since the baby came, I have not been listening to shit. Honestly, I've been in full hardcore parenting mode, all sorts of parenting stuff. Tomorrow we got to go to get his little hips ultrasound again. Another doctor's appointment on Friday, so it's just been a lot. Good to see you on here, Keith. I'm going to probably pop off shortly anyway. Oh, I forgot to wear my Apple Watch today. Damn it. How do I see myself in my 50s and 7 years? Actually, 6 years. I'm 44. So it's right around the corner. I'm going to be in fantastic shape for a 50-year-old. I've got 6 years to figure it out. So Tanya, when he was born, Marissa had to have an emergency C-section because her amniotic fluid was so low, and he was frank breached, it's called. So his head was up towards her chest, and his butt was down where his head was supposed to be, and then his legs were folded up in front of his face. And so the way that he came out, he dislocated his hips. Poor little baby. And so the pediatrician identified it right away on his first checkup. So he had to get put in what's called a Pavlik harness. If you guys Google that when we get out of here, he has to wear it 24 hours a day. So his checkup this week, is his 2-week checkup in the harness. So they're going to ultrasound and see how things go. So what the orthopedic said was, ideally, they try to catch this before 6 weeks, which he was 3 weeks when they caught it, because when they're so young like that, it's a very interesting thing, guys. You know, when babies are that young, they don't have kneecaps yet, they got no cartilage or anything locked in yet, so ideally they catch this when they're young, and the Pavlik harness holds his hips in a 180-degree abduction. And what happens is the cartilage and everything grows in place, and everything gets basically grown in the ideal positioning. So he's got 6 weeks minimum to wear it 24 hours a day. And then after that, hopefully, he can take it off for an hour a day so we can give him proper baths, because you can't bathe him. You got to give him sponge baths, which is a pain in the ass, and you got all these little crevices you got to worry about. It's a lot. So, but like I said, they want to catch him young with this, because if they wait until longer, and sometimes if they're already walking or whatever and they have all these hip issues, it can be a major thing. So I'll keep you guys in the loop with that. At what fat percentage you think we'll see your abs? You can see my abs now, actually. My abs are starting to be pretty visible now. So, and I'm at 11.5 basically. The majority of my fat is in my lower back, which is annoying, and in my ass, but you can pretty clearly see my abs now, actually. Might look out for hypermobility issues. Yeah, we're going to definitely be staying on top of it. You know what, Bolshoi, I'm the opposite. Barefoot aggravates my back more. I need arch support. Typically when I have my shoes on, I feel a lot better than when I'm actually barefoot, interestingly enough. All right, guys. Whew, let me start winding down here. I appreciate you guys coming on and do this for me. I'm going to go check out the baby. Like I said, I'm going to try to be doing these consistently. Try, like I said, to be on around 9 a.m., but here, Bolshoi, I'll give you a little. So, a little bit of skin, a little bit of fat, but really it's back here. This is where I hold it. I would say 8% body fat. I'll start looking pretty good for, bodybuilding standards. So I got about 3% to go. Anyway, what do you hate the most? The new direction of Jonas Brothers. I don't follow the Jonas Brothers at all. At all. Yes, Bolshoi, I don't think that the skin is going to go, unfortunately. I was hoping that as I came down, it would go away. And maybe more of it will go as I get into the single digit body fat, but I'm concerned it may be something that has to require surgery now. I saw, what's his name, Dr. Mike Israetel, had that surgery to tighten the skin. I mean, I got very heavy in prison. So that kind of heavy weight gain, when you're in your 40s, unfortunately, the skin loses its elasticity as we age. And I don't think that stuff, around the back is going to go anywhere. I don't know. We're going to keep on coming down and see. But he actually had a surgery on that. So we'll see. It's not on the top of my list of priorities now. I want to get jacked and get this body fat down first. But Nathan, what's up, man? All right, guys, it was good to see you guys on here. I'm going to get into this day, go check on the baby and the wife. I love you guys all very much. Good to see you on here. I'll be back tomorrow. Love you all. Peace out. Bye.